playing on this map. We're seeing them a little bit more separated, trying to take their own control. And I don't know if I want to expect that going into this one, but don't be surprised if we see it going forward.
Well, we're jumping straight into it. It's going to be the pistol round, obviously, like you said. XSET on the attack. They need a super solid start. FaZe can be menacing. And if FaZe... I mean, they've had like a 3-ish hour break since their loss against Sentinels in the upper bracket. So it's like, or have they cooled down a little bit to the point where maybe they're not going to be as explosive as we expect? Or have they finally gone time to really sit back, reflect, and now they're going to come in guns a-blazing to stay alive? And keep in mind, this is one of the only 2 chances currently to make it into Masters. You need a top 4 placement in the second closed qualifier and the third closed qualifier. So there's a lot on the line for these boys. Nothing is holding them back, and they are going to be holding nothing back against each other.
Which makes the top brackets, you know, drop so early be so detrimental, because if you put things into perspective, Sully, 2 BO3s get you into Masters. I mean, Sentinels and Envy, that BO3 right there, the winner from that one goes directly into Masters. It just adds to the pressure to these teams now that they're kind of returning to form in a sense. And if I'm not mistaken, 1 or 2 of the players from FaZe were a little bit out of commission this week because of the storm in Texas. If I'm not mistaken, it was only Corey, but it could have been someone else. But, you know, you have this situation now with FaZe and XSET where they just place themselves in almost too much of a detrimental position, where if they get into their own heads, it starts to become just this mental tug of war that, again, I don't know if some of these players have the experience to be able to pull themselves out of, especially XSET.
Well, at least for the side of well, I'd say a couple of people on the side of XSET, right? Obviously, Thwifo is extensive Fortnite competitive background.
Yes.
Aaron coming as well from, I think it is, I can't exactly remember, but most of these guys have extensive. I'd say purely Pure and Weeded are the ones that kind of lack that experience. But then you go to FaZe, really the only one that's kind of lacking that mental is arguably going to be Marv, just because, well, he didn't play in the Overwatch competitive like those other 4 guys. So who knows? But I think over time, obviously, when you're under an organization like FaZe, you're going to be able to pull through even when you're not going to be able to scrim as much because of those Texas outages, which is super unfortunate as always.
Yeah, no, most of the players for XSET are Canadian, actually, so that's not that big of an issue. But I like how you mentioned Aaron. You're just like, I have no idea where he comes from.
I can't even remember the game.
I mean, I don't really know the game, but he comes from Crossfire, so like
that's what it is. I knew it started with a C. I just couldn't get the Ross and
wasn't Counter-Strike, but
no,
you know. It is what it is, folks. Thank you guys so much again for watching today's action for the Valorant Championship Tour. It is going to be a packed weekend. This is an elimination game. The loser of this one has to go backpacking into the VCT Open number 3. But tomorrow things really start to heat up, Sully, where we finally get spots into Masters.
Yeah, tomorrow's where it's kind of all on the line. It's like you get basically a direct chance. You mentioned earlier that it's just 2 best of 3s. Well, on the flip side, it's 2 best of 3s and you're out of the first closed qualifier. And to put that in perspective, when we go into the second, or technically the third and final closed qualifier to make it into Masters, then it's 4 best of 3s and all your chances are gone to make it into Masters. So it's a very weird situation where you look at the 8 teams that we had competing today and it's like, wow, 2 of these teams have to go home. And it's really hard to say because then you've got 100 Thieves and LG. One of those teams could possibly be going home. Gen G for some Mortals. One of those teams could possibly be going home. And then XSET versus FaZe. One of these teams could be going home. And it sucks to see. It's like, I want everyone to make it into Masters because they're all such great quality teams.
Yeah, I mean, when we put things into perspective in terms of like objective seeding, seeing FaZe versus XSET wasn't exactly unexpected, you know, to really see in a loser's bracket like this, but this early on and to see one of them having to go, it is going to be a little bit of a detriment. But that's at least like they have a cushion to land on. They still have VCT number 3. It's the same thing with teams like E United, with teams like TSM, with teams like even T1 who are just solidifying themselves. So I mean, there still is very much a disastrous, like almost a chaotic bracket to actually try to go for. So you get it out of the way now. That's the fun part, right? But just an update on the other game. It is Luminosity Gaming actually taking things 1-1 against 100 Thieves. Map number 3 coming up in just a little bit. The loser of that facing off against Gen G on the first stream. So we're going to be the first stream to actually get things started, but we're on a tech pause at the moment. Don't exactly know why, but we're just vibing at the moment, Sully. And I wanted to ask you really quick, out of the 8 teams at the top, do you expect one to just barrel their way into grand finals?
Oh, I think that's very... I don't want to say barrel, right? But I think that Sentinels are gonna strut their stuff. They're gonna walk in super confidently. I think that's kind of the basic name to say. And then 100 Thieves as well could be one of those teams, but we don't even know because LG versus 100 Thieves is still going on. Like you said, that's over on Nerd ST Gamers. We're here on Nerd ST Gamers too. So in terms of two teams that could basically just waltz their way to the grand finals, I'd say obviously Sentinels and possibly even Immortals, who looked really good against Genji just a best of 3 ago. But the tech pause is finally over. We don't have to rant too long. You guys get right into the action. It's FaZe versus XSET here on Haven in the pistol round.
And it's going to be early pressure coming out from FaZe Clan down over towards Long C. And XSET, they still maintain things a little bit quieter outside the A long area, but only a singular player around the A area for FaZe as they just collect this information and they have to go for a retake.
Right, yeah, this is the traditional FaZe run and gun, get down, and they get dirty. They make that gamble to the C site, but then XSET they recognize because they send one player to just default towards the C site. They know this site is open, but Zachary, okay, 2 quick shots on the right click classic, and things are starting to fall apart here for XSET.
Zachary just chilling in that position along. Nobody heard him at all. Now it's only one player remaining. It's Aaron that just tried to take that control 2 of Heaven. Good nade 2. That's going to leave back Marv. Ooh, that satchel. There you go.
He's got a nade.
Even more damage. He gets back a nade, but the defuse is going to go down. Corey wins it out for FaZe, but more specifically, Zachary's cheeky hold of Heaven is going to drag him forward.
Yeah, it's such an awkward position as well when you have that spike right underneath Heaven. It's like, I have a paint shell, but I'm being challenged in front of default. How am I going to use this paint shell to try and give myself an advantageous position? So a little bit difficult there for the side of XSET in terms of a post plan, but FaZe, they do a really good job. Speaking specifically, Zachary, those 2 kills in Heaven, staying super calm and super collected to cause a delay and control such a major part of that retake. Because if you are FaZe walking into that site and you don't have control of Heaven, then you're going to get gunned down from the top and you're never going to get into it. So props to Zachary. It's XSET now. They're going to be on an eco here. Don't expect too much, but from FaZe's aggressive stance on the pistol, they're going to run things a little bit slower here, as an early camp from Zachary is going to get all the information as to where this hit is directed at.
It's not just an eco, but it's a full one of that. Only 1 or 2 players actually upgrading their pistols, so FaZe need to maintain this clean.
Oh, Corey
for 1, just going for the eco frags. There you go. Easy farm. Thwifo takes 1 back, though, but that's not going to be that big of a detriment. FaZe 2-0 up.
Pretty simple stuff. I mean, we don't expect too much from XSET in that round. Obviously, once you're FaZe and you have that information, specifically when you've got that info out towards C long in that early camp from Zachary peeking into A garden, it's like, well, now we know they're going to have to commit to the B side. So I'm Corey. I'm going to swing. I've got all the confidence. Him and Baby Bay have looked super good and looked really good against Sentinels despite the scoreline and the stats maybe they put up. So if they can keep that momentum going, again, if we talk about if FaZe, if they can click, that's when they can really start to shine. But this one's a full buy. Because XSET to go for the full eco in the last round. They're going to have the Vandals, the Phantoms, whatever they need going forward. So we'll see if FaZe can get this bonus going and maybe keep all 5 players alive and reset XSET here.
I do like this early pressure from FaZe once again. Wait for the 3rd round in a row. Taking an early choke point control, this time being mid. Except for now. They do have an inclination that they're around this area, but focusing up for the rest of the FaZe squad, they're actually abandoning the C site, but they're still leaving util around that area.
Great spam there. Great recon ball. But the thing is Corey hasn't been spotted yet. He can sit under window. He's got all the info. He's like, just leave B completely open. And that's the thing about Haven is that these rotations are super short if you have this B mid control. And they have that. These A site players can get to C in a matter of seconds, essentially. But Raucus, can he hold them back? That's the question. 5 players down long and only a stinger and no utility left. He's tucked behind the box and he'll be lucky to get 1 here, which he does. And that's good enough.
Oh, Baby Bay from the back getting 2. That's a massive swing. Oh, just 1 remaining. It's going to be Aaron now on a 1v3. He thought he had taken back Corey, but it's Baby Bay's play to open up the sights that gets the floodgates open. FaZe Clan, off of their bonus, they win out the 3rd.
Huge round for them. And again, we go back to that mid control. Corey sits underneath the Heaven. That gives all the confidence for Baby. He's like, I don't need to worry about Garage. I can make that quick rotation. And Raucus does a phenomenal job of sitting in the back, getting a kill, drawing all this attention towards him. And then XSET are completely caught off guard by the setup that FaZe had. And with that bonus, Gus, they walk into this next round with all rifles and everyone has got above 1,000 credits. So economically, they are perfectly fine at the moment.
Oh, economically, they are chilling. You still have Zachary over towards the A area. Sitting out just with a cam. Not putting up too much pressure. FaZe Clan again taking early control. Over towards the market side. And, ooh, okay, Zachary said that he was going to take things a little bit cleaner, but he actually just wants to maintain at least some attention. Gets that information. Not only that, but a kill on the back line. XSET going to be able to get a plant, so that's a little bit extra cash, but the shock dart lineup, almost huge to deny the spike plant, but a little bit of an ulti is going to get boosted up. Watch out, the Empress is still online, but Zachary takes one back onto Thwifo. The drop in. Oh man, Zachary actually kills himself there, but it's all good. Pure is still alive, but Baby Bay low goes for the frag. Rock is trying to drop. Weeded gets it back. 1v2, and it's all on BCJ, but Corey takes him back. That's a whole lot of damage though for an eco.
Yeah, XSET, they get super aggressive in those post plants. Pierre kind of right in front of that A connector, straight into spawn. He's throwing 2, 3 smokes all to delay, and because those smokes take 4 seconds, it's buying little bit of time off. And FaZe, they take that time to set themselves up. You might not have caught it, but the Lear and the Paranoid go out to make a double flash combo, but nobody was caught in it because Pure is playing aggressive. They don't expect him to be there, and he catches a couple players off guard, gets a whole lot of damage for his team. And while it does end up getting a little bit too messy for FaZe, they lose 3 players. They were hoping to maybe walk out again with all 5 to keep that economic situation going for them. But in this one, they'll still be completely fine. Baby Bay could be the only one that might need a drop at 400 credits, but it's XSET again, who's going to be back on a buy here.
Okay, watch out. That Cloud over towards Long. It's still going to be fought up by Pure. The ult orb is going to get taken back, but they're still fighting in Long. My God, Corey going to be able to get another one. Corey takes a third. Aaron takes one back, but it is what it is. Now Thwifo remaining in a 1v3. It was hard not to mention the battle for the ult orb. So many players at 5 and 6 points. But at the end of things, it has to be left up by Thwifo that still has a decent kit to use. Double cyber cages. Has the neural theft. A cheeky spot in the back too. They could play retake B. And not only that, but it came up in mid just to at least cover up some time. 50 seconds left, and he again is just inching his way over towards the A sites, which is currently in double coverage.
Yeah, so he's gonna get the info that at least he can't get punished from behind. He's got a trip as well. They're behind him. He's gonna walk slowly forward. I mean, these players, they're not holding crossfire, so if he can isolate the 1v1s, he can stand a chance, and you might have the first on a silver platter. Thwifo, good info, and now using the neural theft to get even more from it.
Cage triggered.
Good stuff from Thwifo. Sets up actually both cyber cages. So nothing else for him to use. He's got to bounce. Indeed, he's away. The Paranoia gonna miss. Gonna be able to get the kill onto Marv. Now this man can play some time. Zachary now in a 1v1. Looking to strike. But Thwifo, the hero for XSET in a 1v3.
Huge plays from Thwifo, isolating 1v1s in FaZe. No crossfire is being played. The only one they had was back towards short on that A site. They play so split and perfectly done by Thwifo. All the utility was on his side, and all he needed was these 1v1s. Great work from the Paranoia, missing as well. Everything played into his hands. And XSET, well, that's one way to get a first round on the board. 4-1, but still FaZe with a massive advantage, Gus. The economy is still always going to be on their side, and even the ults lined up. Baby Bay can go with the Blade Storm, and that's even more of an incentive now to get aggressive.
Right, a masterclass in isolation, but early on. A lot of util cams along. They're actually going to meet up on one another, but there's a cyber cage over towards the long side that ends up getting blown up. So that's a little bit of early util being used. Double trips too, but at this point, it's a battle for the mid side where Market isn't actually going to get taken in a 3-man crossfire of the area. Owl Drone is going to be able to clear out a little bit of information, so that's going to allow at least a little bit of mid information, with a C site getting taken at the same time. Oh, the showstopper doesn't get any damage, but with Aaron making the space, the spike will be able to go down. Hunter's Fury, though, he's got to move.
This is going to buy so much time here for FaZe to get back into the site. And Baby Bay! Huge double kill off the Blade Storm. And next thing you know, it's just one man. He was going to try and play up the Hunter's Fury, but the spike never went down. 1 versus 4. They need back-to-back clutches to get 2 rounds on the board here. And BCJ, he's good with the gun, but he's not good enough. Rock is gunning him down from long range. It's 5-1 in FaZe. Explode on that retake.
That's an insane combo. Hunter's Fury coming in from the back line. Of course, it's it's very expected what's going to happen. It's just going to delay time off the spike, and not only that, but it could be able to get a couple of kills on site with so many players isolated. But the best thing about that Sully is that they end up striking with a Hunter's Fury. As it ends up sweeping the players back over towards the long side, they still end up pressuring them.
Yeah.
All the players for XSET look like headless chickens at that point, just looking to get aimed on by Baby Bay. Wonderful play from FaZe as now XSET, they get left in the background, but now Purer trying to make his way in with an entry onto Baby Bay, but he gets denied.
Yeah, Baby playing that angle because he knows he can dash away instantly, and there's that dismiss. They're playing the game of peek and run. They get the kills. They get out of there. XSET down to just 3. There is a trade back, and they do at least pick up a Vandal. The spike and the B site control. Thwaipo gunning Zachary down. They're going to run it back to the A site. It's a 2v2, and this is more than doable now. Aaron trying to take the challenge, but the spike will go down here on A, and Aaron's going to try and cut off these rotations, or at least take a duel now.
Well, he's known that he's here, so now it's just a game of ring around the Rosie. Great damage. Aaron, again, with that stinger. Just looking to take away Baby Bay, but it's at least a little bit for Weedy to work on. Look at this off angle to the right.
He doesn't see him, the gun,
no,
the barrel!
The model! Oh, man. Left-hand users are molding right now. Oh, we did. You actually do hate to see that happen. 6-1 FaZe Clan. It was well done by XSET again off of yet another half buy, but oh, that's just so unfortunate at the end.
Yeah, you know, I used to ask myself, like, with all these crazy skins, like the new knife and the Celestial Bundle, is like, is that gonna like block your POV? And there, I guess, is your answer. It's like the Reaver Vandal literally blocked him. Obviously, if you are left-handed, then it doesn't really matter. But that is just so unlucky for Weed in that position. So FaZe, they got a 6, but XSET, they're making things messy. And one thing that FaZe are really good at doing is that because they love to get super aggressive, maybe against a team that isn't as well coordinated as XSET, they're gonna start to kind of they're gonna fall into the FaZe style where they're gonna have to get a little puggy themselves and try and get super aggressive to counter FaZe's aggressiveness. So XSET, they're falling right into that trap, and FaZe are playing their cards perfectly with more long aggression towards A.
Zachary getting revealed. Not only that, but the Hunter's Fury.
The dodge.
Oh, and the dodge too. He's not gonna go down. And he's still here to help the Neural Theft. What a hold.
And he's got more info, like you said. And I mean, Thwaipo, this is such a tricky position, but Baby Bay, he'll be caught mid-reload. They trade things back to an even 3v3, and there's a committed rotation by Marv on the A site. He's going to get a lot of early play here, but it's the fact that XSET, they've got full control of the B site, but they still need to think, is this the site they want to take? Because you can get squashed here so easily, and Marv is looking for an early aim duel down towards short.
Oh, Marv, he needs one burst, 2 kills, Marv so clean. 1v3 now for Thwaipo. And he's been in this position before, but it's a little bit different of a scenario. It's unbelievable that XSET did not take up that B site, but it is what it is. Now Thwaipo has full control of this site.
30 seconds
but
left.
at what detriment? 25 seconds left. He has a cam up for the information. Nobody knows that it's here, so he can really can play some time here. But
it's another clutch.
Still coming off that play. Oh, that's
no, not again.
But he's exploding. Thwaipo gonna be able to get one. Still 1 low on HP. He's playing around perfectly in terms of spacing. Spike is still around him, still searching for the frag.
No way!
Be able to get one. A gust of wind could take down Zachary, but Zachary with a sidearm takes down Thwaipo. Oh, the drama of FaZe Clan after Marv's huge 2K and a battle against Thwaipo. They're still gonna win it.
Deep breaths, everyone. Oh my goodness, Thwaipo doing it again. Imagine the Marv 2-piece just to do all that. I mean, this play, XSET, you see how they're just trying to get aggressive now. FaZe, you're falling right into their trap right now, XSET. Gotta calm down. I mean, this is the perfect time to call attack pause. We're at the Germany-Brazil scoreline 7-1. You need to just breathe here. XSET, they've got a very, very scrappy buy put together. Raucus is going to pull out the Odin for the early spam down middle. XSET, you need to get some rounds together. And honestly, like I said, take the moment to breathe. You need attack pause here to maybe reset. But FaZe, there's no breaks in this train. They're going straight down C-Long once more.
I got the spike. Blocking sight.
Only take now they're going to use this Aldrum to get up the space, and Pure actually with the plant. It's Cyber Cage, double smoke too.
Not aware of the flank though.
Absolutely. FaZe, they're almost notorious Grabbing a couple of lurkers, but they do have that setup pretty much ready and raring to go. They have a tripwire over towards long, but the player over in C long might be making his appearance. Aaron Howell. It's like the Matrix. He's just not getting hit at all. Though good pressure out though. The nade can delay even more time. It's just a battle for sight, though. We did get to take back Marv to market, but Zachary and Rockets make their way through. Cyber Cage, double smoke. Can they get it, though? Baby Bay covering. They're actually going to stick it to half. Could have just stuck it in general. And not only that, but there is a flank. Aaron takes down one, but the spike defuse does go down. Barely in time. Oh my, it's pure chaos, but FaZe still win it out.
Look at everything that just happened and everything that went right for FaZe. That little Odin play, in the grand scheme of things, or when we look at it through just one scope, it's like, well, that doesn't really matter. They can't get the kill on the Aaron. But then you look back at that round in XSET, so many players flood back to Garage to try and assist Aaron to get him out of there and get him out of dodge. So FaZe, that one single Odin play draws all these players, and the next thing you know, Zachary and both Baby Bay are on the B bomb site, ready to get that defuse going. So XSET, again, falling right into the trap of FaZe, as it's an 8-1 scoreline. An early Hunter Spheri allowing Corey and Baby Bay to get even more aggressive here. They're looking for blood, and they might just get something, but Aaron doesn't deny at least the first.
Oh, good stuff too. That linger over in mid, still catching off another. Has to come down to Zachary, another person to market to try to crossfire, but Rockets is smoked off. And the satchel combo alongside a headshot from Aaron. Finally, XSET, they have themselves a quick and clean round.
Yeah, they make the final adjustment that all the teams have been doing against FaZe is you just sit and wait for them to push you. If you can take down Corey and Baby Bay, there's already a two-man advantage because they've been kind of going as a package deal. It's like they've been going down deep mid, down deep C long, and in that instance down Garage, where they recognize Hunter's Fury goes out, where they're going to try and play around that. So good read from XSET there to finally get a second round on the board. And FaZe, I mean, these past rounds have been super costly for them, so despite winning 8 rounds or 7 rounds in a row, they're going to be the ones lacking a full buy now. They're going to go back to Sheriffs, and XSET, here's finally that chance to maybe extend that lead and pull it now to 3.
Oh, Aaron. Again, good usage of the showstopper. It's just a threat of it. Just being around it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was about to say, it's gonna empty pressure, right? But he ends up getting 2 off of it. Baby Bay with a quick draft. He's gonna end up getting one back, but Pure with a good 2K. And that's just gonna be it for the round, isn't it? 1v4. It's a tall task, but again, real chaotic near the end of things. But that one was quick and clean for XSET.
Yeah, okay, double off of the showstopper. That's one way to solidify a round. I thought he was gonna get 1, right? I was like, okay, he gets 1. Surely not the second, as I think it was it was Raucous. I think was around the corner with an hour drone. That is so unlucky to get caught mid utility usage. And Corey, he will snake away with at least a Phantom. They're not going to, again, like you said, get much out of this round, but XSET, they finally get a third. And if you're FaZe, these rounds are like, okay, we let them slip through. We're still in a very comfortable position. We've got a 5-round lead now. Can we close this last one out? And that, yeah, there it is. Rockets around the corner. Wall. That is a little unfortunate. Here we go. We get it back in slow motion.
Yeah, that sucks. No, it really does. Well, poor guy. Hate to see it, but folks, we do have another round coming up. Last round of the half. As at this point, FaZe, they still have the cash to end up reinvesting back, if I'm not mistaken, full util 2, except for Zachary, actually. He's actually missing out on at least 1 or 2 of his trips, but we actually do have a disconnect on the server. The only reason that that Marv isn't actually investing at the moment is because he disconnected. So we have a little bit of time to kind of recap this round thus far. So it's good to see XSET at least back into form a little bit, but FaZe, they're looking real good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, when you got Corey and Baby Bay both activated at basically their full potential, or not necessarily their full potential, that's a dangerous FaZe, and that's what a lot of people get scared about, right? FaZe aren't necessarily going to be the most tactical team in the world. Call me crazy for saying that, but it's like when they are clicking, when they are able to turn up, like when Marv turned up against Built by Gamers, when Corey and Baby Bay turned up to get them into first strike against Gen G, those were the scariest iterations we have ever seen from FaZe, and they're doing it here again. Against Sentinels, maybe it's a little bit lackluster because they're playing up against a more sound, solid team in terms of their gunplay and their team chemistry as well. But that's the thing with FaZe, is that they're always able to consistently do really good against the teams that maybe aren't at that top tier 1 level, and that is
Right.
XSET, unfortunately, because they are a very new team to tier 1, and this is a whole different beast, because I believe this is actually the first time they've ended up playing each other. So FaZe,
Yes.
this is a huge surprise and a huge hit to the gut if you're XSET now.
Yep, first ever matchup between these two teams, so not much VOD reviewing to do between the two. But I think more importantly, looking at the wider scope of things, I said before the game that the team that would end up losing this would actually get booted back over towards open number 3, but that is actually incorrect. Big correction is that because there are master spots being taken by the top 4, the last 4 teams from this, they actually get to dodge the entire open qualification for number 3, and they go directly into close. So okay, so it's a little bit more of a deep breath. Still a lot of time for them to actually decompress, considering the fact that the last closed qualifiers here for the VCT Challengers in North America happens in 2 weeks. But you would still like to make your way into Masters now, right? Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, it's like, do you really want to have to go back through another closed qualification?
Preparation,
Yeah, it's like
more
you have all
time.
this time. You get
No way.
I mean, like, let's break that Immortals out. I think is a really good example of like maybe why you want that longer extended break, because I think it was Shot Up who ended up switching, or they did a lot of agent composition switches, right, on Icebox through Viper and Sage, and then next thing you know,
Yes.
you had a whole different line of Shot Up on Breach in a sense. So yeah, that time is super valuable. So if you're XSET or if you're FaZe, you want to stay alive here as long as you can. But it's the last round of this first half. XSET taking things super slow, and surprisingly FaZe, no aggression shown whatsoever. It's a complete retake of this A site.
Yeah, usually you would have Zachary around that heaven area, and not only that, but that TP could have ended up getting shut down, but instead we did. TP into plant, XSET, they have full control, but they're still going to maintain a lot of pressure, actually, over in the back entrance of the A site. There's one person trying to make his way in. Thwyfo is still going to end up getting that kill. And not only that, but the neural theft. That's so big for Thwyfo, as now the info is wide open for them. FaZe, they're splitting up. They're actually going to put 1 over towards the heaven side, 2 in paranoia through. That's actually big, just to at least make up the space. Zachary on the front lines. He's actually going for the defuse off the smoke long, but with a stick, he goes down. BCJ with a double, and Weeded cleans it up. XSET, they made their dubs look a little bit easier. FaZe still very much entertaining, still very much dangerous. Folks, half number 2 coming up in just a little bit, but we're going to take a break to decompress and recap what went down in that first half. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. Back at it, folks. Half number 2 between FaZe and XSET. It's map number 1 between the two. It's elimination. It's do or die, and we're live. It's already a take. It's a market. It's Thwyfo around the corner. Okay, what an explosive start.
There you go, straight back into it. An XSET, the heat hasn't left just yet. 3 rounds in a row to end off the second, as good as it gets for them. But now it's going to have to be a retake. You commit so much into Garage, but then you've got a paranoia. It's more running and gunning straight across, but the spike, it won't go down, and it hasn't gone down just yet.
The boom bot still Marv's around the corner, going to be able to take down 1. Raucus gets traded back by BCJ. That was so important too. BCJ had to be in that quick position to be able to get that trade over and long. That was a great rotation coming in from XSET, well timed at least. That could have gone completely against their direction if they weren't there for the explosive start. In FaZe, they still had a little bit of an advantage near the very end of things, although you had Thwyfo's big play in market. However, XSET now with a pistol round win, they look to do onto FaZe what they did to them.
Yeah, it's going to be a full buy back here for FaZe. 4 Stingers, a single Sheriff. Corey's going to try and take this long range duel early out here, and Baby Bay with a dash is going to try and get into their face surely, but nobody peeks. That Lear is what's going to force them back, away for now, and so FaZe, how are they going to have to adjust here? Because XSET have shown nothing. Great cage, and Thwyfo has to concede long control. So FaZe, they've got all this control, and XSET, they're not pushing any other extremity. So right now, FaZe, the A site should be theirs here momentarily, as BCJ in the back, a flying Baby Bay goes down, but there are still more FaZe players approaching, and BCJ has dealt with a second now.
And it's just a cleanup at the very end of things. I'm feeling deja vu, as this is the exact result that FaZe ended up getting from their own second round conversion, but this time it's a whole lot more important, Sully, because of the cash that FaZe ended up investing.
Yeah, now that FaZe have obviously, like you said, gone all into that one, it's going to be a much lighter buy for Sheriffs. No real armor going to be invested into this one. And sure, you can full buy into the next. Baby Bay will be sticking to the Stinger. He's got just enough to buy into the next. Again, I was expecting a much more explosive round from FaZe, right?
Keep
The timing
watching window.
seemed
The crack in the
a
wall.
little bit off.
Gosh.
Baby Bay was definitely a little bit out of position. FaZe now going into this one, it's a lot slower here, right? Baby Bay's again going to try and get aggressive down in towards Garage. See what he can get from that. But FaZe, they're being shot back at by a couple of shock darts, forcing them out of position here as Pure does a good job to find one and already has Baby Bay down so low. Dash already expended. It's going to cost a smoke here to get him out of dodge, but instead it's going to be one set by We Did from the XSET side.
Huge spot from Thryfo. Gonna be able to take down Baby Bay.
Trigger.
Shot to the body, and there's not much that they can really do going forward. So he's taking up more space. Zachary does want to commit to this. He's about to walk into the 3-man pinch of XSET. Very cheeky from Aaron. I mean, considering the fact that the 2 targets that he has outside of doors, they're both incredibly low. So this could be a little bit of a farm for him. Maybe some stat padding.
Get
For
a
us to
couple
see
of,
that ACS.
you get a couple of ult charges. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
right?
that too. That's
he's
the
2 of 7
huge
right
thing.
now. You get to 4 of 7. That'll be really big for XSET. And especially in this round, it's like, well, FaZe, because they forced in the last, I think they fed like 2 to 3 kills to BCJ to get his ult even further up. So the quicker you can get these ults online, the more of a struggle it's going to be. Okay, good bait, but can he get out of this one? Corey, nope. Aaron's going to catch him off guard. Down go those 2 low HP players. It was a good setup. You get a couple of exits. But here's the issue is
10
Ruckus.
seconds
He needs
left.
to die because he's only going to get 1,000 credits, and thankfully he does. Taken down by We Did. We'll get the full loss bonus. And XSET, they bring it now within just 1.
Yeah, good point there. Just kind of needed to go down, but okay. Aaron, I mean, it's that option select too that you see a lot from just gun battles in general, but you know, it is what it is. It was a little bit difficult, a little bit more time crunched off the clock, but at the end of things, of course, like you mentioned, the ult points going up in his favor, currently 4 out of 7, and it's going to be a big battle for XSET to be able to get these ult orbs because, of course, they need that Hunter's Fury onto BCJ. Same thing with Thwyfo, so you're actually going to see BCJ over towards long, trying to fight that early on, and indeed he is, but he's not going to be able to get the ult orb. Instead, now it's actually Pure with the op playing up in short. They're going to abandon that battle, but again, they just have to focus down the 1vXs as FaZe. They're actually barreling their way down long.
Yeah, great read from FaZe to put that pressure onto BCJ so we can't get the ult orb. They know that he's 6 of 7, so they're like, no, we can't let him get this Hunter's Fury. That's way too valuable in a post plan. They end up denying him that info. I think Pure was trying to exploit the fact that FaZe were going to try and counter and maybe get a free pick over towards short, but it doesn't go either way. The exchange results in no kills, no damage done. They default themselves back out. Now, FaZe, with all that investment back towards the A side, it's going to take a whole lot more time. They've got to be very cautious of players pushing down towards C. That smoke could either be a fake in the eyes of FaZe. It's like, okay, there could be a player here, so we need to clear every single corner. But now they're reset back towards the C side, leave one player to lurk, and that deep smoke is going to buy at least XSET a whole lot of time. With 35 seconds left, FaZe got to get going now.
Oh, Baby Bay on the front lines.
Great
How
paranoia.
is he not dead? There you go. Okay. Amazing paranoia. Delayed so much time, but even then, Aaron takes him down, and he's still sitting up. Corey and Ruckus with a good crossfire. Still covering up their options, but it's
There's
still
that
going
lurk.
to be BCJ in the back line, but Zachary, he's there. Taking out Thwyfo, but now last person remaining over towards Market. Zachary just getting pressured out. Has to get that spike some way, somehow, but the pressure out from the shock darts just delaying time. Pure takes down Zachary, but that one, Sully, there was a whole lot of aspects for FaZe that could have gone right.
Yeah, right. 2 paranoias go both ways. Really good response from Weeda in the backside. That paranoia buying a whole lot of time, right? You kind of question, well, how has Baby Bay not been spotted yet? Well, Aaron had a paranoia straight into his face, but that response of a paranoia, that huge gap between them buys a whole lot of time. No interactions happen for like 3 to 4 seconds. And XSET, they're all running on over back towards the C site. They get in just at the perfect moment. And well, they may have not gotten any ult orbs. They've now got 4 ults online. In FaZe, for themselves, only have 1 on Ruckus, and that's his Hunter's Fury.
Found them.
At least Cyber Cage coupled up with the tripwire. That's going to be huge for the cover. So you're most likely going to be seeing Thwyfo just chilling around this A side almost the entire time. Waiting out to see where the first point of contact would actually go down, but a little bit of a battle over towards the long area for FaZe, but they back a little bit early too.
Cage triggered.
Nothing won, nothing lost. Oh,
And I'm gonna say it's really good control here from XSET at the moment, and op down towards B is gonna get a whole lot of info. Early smoke as well dropped by Weeded. They essentially have full control of C, but it looks like it's gonna have to be a burst play here. Smoke towards top along to allow Baby Bay to get some space, and with that camera already in garage, they've got the info. And now look at the adjustments here by XSET. Because they have no garage control, because of a smoke drop top long, they need to be prepared for that C hit, but time has been bought. And FaZe are rotating back, and same thing here with XSET. Owl's drone to clear, and it's Pure here with the op. They haven't spotted him just yet. This could be a free kill for him.
oh, Purer needs to get this, but good movement from Baby Bay. Again, very much expected from the Jet mains, but again, no tracking there from Purer. Couldn't get it back, but Baby Bay still sitting around the smoke.
No!
Dashing out, taking down Weeded. Huge clearance by Baby Bay. The sole job of a duelist is to make space, and Baby Bay takes it on his own. FaZe make their way on site, able to get the spike plant, but the round is won by them. It's an eco round dub.
There's that individualism, Gus. When we talk about FaZe, we think of the flashy plays, how aggressive they want to be at. Sometimes you're like, are they on the defense because they were in the defender spawn? And there's Baby Bay running it all the way around. He tried to trace Baby Bay up and over when in reality he maybe should have expected a player. He could have gotten a pick and gotten out of there with a dash, but it's that decision making that's really rough in the moment. So don't blame Exa whatsoever. But FaZe a huge round, essentially on a half buy or more than likely a full eco in that case, as they will pick up the 9th here and early engagements out towards long. XSET are battling super heavily, fighting fire with fire, a taste of their own medicine as aggressiveness doesn't go back their way. 3v3, and we're evened out here as the trades go back FaZe.
Okay, Pure, what can you do now? 1v3 in this area. It does have Weeded to try to help out, and he has a
big kill,
paranoia,
Spike.
but that's massive from Pure. Gets that spike down, but he doesn't have to multi-manage over towards long at the moment. He does have Weeded chilling.
I think they back away here though, right? Because they have all that utility back towards B. They can kind of
I got the spike.
concede this spike. They don't need that control just yet, right? You can let them have it. FaZe can take it, but then you've got
Look at
you
the
have so
trip.
many situations. Yeah, exactly. All that early information. If they walk into B, well,
Here.
Waifu is already there. If they walk into C, they already have an early trip. They can clear out garage and make the retake 10 times easier. So XSET are playing this with a super calm head on their shoulders. In FaZe with 30 seconds left, need to get a
30
move on
seconds
here.
left.
Position revealed by Baby Bay. Now, what's the motive here? You kind of have to re-exit back towards A because you still have Raucus laying around there. And he's going to try and play post plant with that Hunter's Fury, but once more, is XSET still here with 2.
And again, just really good isolation
10 seconds left.
from the players of XSET. FaZe had to clear so many options. And just striking down at the right time. 4 seconds in, and the dash.
Okay.
What? All right.
Okay.
Baby Bay still surviving. He's going to be able to get the second. So still the 1K potential, but he takes out a couple of rifles. Just, he was full flashed.
Yeah.
It was full flash. So I mentioned the paranoia earlier. Really good timing on it. Not only that, but coupled up with the dash in from Pure, could have easily been the cleanup, but it's the result that they wanted, of course. They have the round back.
Yeah. I mean, you're like less than socially distanced between the Baby Bay and Pierre. The paranoias, you end up seeing him anyway, so didn't seem like that was going to be too much of an issue, at least for Baby Bay. But this could be here for FaZe as XSET, they're again fighting fire with fire. They're going to try and get the ult over here, or at least try and bait out a peek. And FaZe, they're not fighting for much control. Like, once more, they lose the battle out toward long. They now have to retake these extremities. There could be anyone down in that cubby towards C, anyone pushed up down towards mid, and even furthermore in garage. So FaZe, it's going to take more time to clear, and that's where XSET really shine, where they can get those adjustments going. But there are 4 players lined up here, or 3 apologies, and it's Weeded, who is alone, but does have a paranoia to at least try and draw some delays.
Not only that, but potentially coupled up with a cyber cage. Could be able to escape back with a TP into market. Lots of options for him, but he actually uses up the shrouded step. Go to the other angle of C.
Barrel.
So a little bit unexpected, but Rockets with an interaction in mid spots the barrel of Thwifo. And that's a kill that simply XSET did not, well, really can't afford to take back, to really give. But at least now going
30
forward,
seconds
FaZe
left.
rotating extremely slowly back over towards the C area. 25 seconds left. This is going to be their target, but the smokes are expended
Great
early.
paranoia.
Good paranoia, but it's going to completely miss here, Sully. We did in the back line. Coupled up with Aaron. The dash in. Aaron with 2. Could potentially find another. And not only that, but BCJ still cleans up. Somehow Pure was alive that entire time. We did was just there for the cleanup, but XSET, they have their options covered. And yet another one of these FaZe late takes ends up getting shut down.
Yeah, this is so unlike FaZe, taking all of this time to set up an execution when normally we see FaZe always challenging extremities, right? But they've been losing the fight out towards long. And XSET, they get that control and they play that adjustment. Again, that's where they start to shine. When you give yourself space and you make FaZe have to take so much more time and you buy that time to make rotations, to set yourself up for whatever FaZe are going to throw at you. XSET, from an 8-1 deficit in the first half on the defense, it's night and day the difference between both of these teams. And XSET are looking really good so far as FaZe are here on a half buy once more. They need to try and get something converted, as I think right now it's only been one round of this entire second half, and that was on an eco essentially.
Yep, that one was on an eco, and they ended up losing out on the conversion back, so their economy still very much in shambles. Again, this conversion is just going to be too difficult. It's fun to call it out in theory, right? But
Yeah.
they really have to couple up everything that they've got. They have a whole lot of ultis, but one of them end up going down. The Blade Storm down long. It's done and dusted. Still have that same position. Marv trying to fight. He needs to win this battle. He's going to continue to fight as a frag goes back, but the Stinger comes around in perfect range. Corey takes one back with the Guardian too. It's unreal that you called it, Sully, but they need the conversion, and they're starting to get it. Nades going in, a whole lot of damage. Gotta feel bad for Zachary. He's low incredibly in terms of HP. The shock darts aren't hitting, and that spike is all the way out in the open. The Hunter's Fury back, though, for the attacking side of FaZe. Just clearing out as much space as possible, trying to get a kill, but can't find anything. 4v2.
This is so difficult to punish. There are 3 players, or 2 players more or less, completely low. Great swing! What a Aaron! Wide swing with a blast back, now gets the showstopper, can't find the final kill. Onto the player out towards long. BCJ's got to isolate these 1v1s. He's got shock darts, but he's got no time.
They have no
it's
idea.
down to Marv. 1 versus 2. The Sheriff in his hand, and it's running on a round. BCJ's head is gone, but Aaron's got the round just barely. 11-9 XSET. They extend their lead in FaZe. What a round from them.
They said running and gunning was dead. Holy. What a combo from Aaron. I mean, he just had to go straight up for it because
I didn't even think he was the one that got the kill. I thought it was BCJ.
I also thought that it was BCJ because
that
of
was unreal. Look at that.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? You
Dude,
didn't even shoot.
I would be so pissed if that happened to
Look
me.
at that. Like what?
It might have been maybe observer lag, latency, something of the
Has
sort.
to
But
be.
yeah, but no, that was super important, right? Because BCJ, he had to be the one to clear up right corner. So good peek from BCJ in general. Aaron, it's a little bit unfortunate that he was the one to actually get the kill in that fashion. But going into this round, super quick, super simple. It's completely unexpected, but it's the FaZe mindset. Hold up, have fun, use util. And now they're out of there already. 4v2, and they already have the spike plant. It's deja vu.
Yep, there's the old FaZe. Run and see what you can get. They take it up short. They realize they've been losing that long fight, so they adjust and they instead say, okay, let's just run it up short. They haven't been contesting as much, and it works out perfectly. Owl drone to clear. FaZe saves so much utility on a fast exec like that. Something that XSET most certainly weren't going to be expecting. With FaZe, more than likely you're going to get a 10th here. As XSET, they start to back away from the site, right? You need to save that operator. You're not going to win this round no matter what. So, FaZe, a 10th round here. Second in this second half. And despite how dominant XSET have been, we are still within 1 round of each other. FaZe and XSET, we could be going the distance here. FaZe can keep up or at least extend the momentum from this round in particular.
Just look how critical the economy is going to be in these next couple of rounds. There's now XSET. They leave themselves with a whole lot of questions. They do have the buffer now to force by, concerning the fact that they are still at least 2 rounds away from the regulation time being over. But FaZe, I mean, you pretty much gave them their blessing, Sully. Either they act in that round or it's pretty much over. They didn't end up winning, but they got a whole lot of damage in terms of economy. And not only that, but they still ended up executing in the round right after to delay even more time. But Pure, he's been in this position before. He's not going to miss again, as Thwifo is here to actually help out, taking down Baby Bay and taking down that control of B. They do start to readjust, and not only that, but they do have, I don't really think that it's a retake cam, but it's still a cam to get all of that information over towards the C area. XSET, they have a lot of options being covered up at the moment, but FaZe, they haven't targeted yet.
Oh, yeah, that cam is just watching Garage for Aaron. So Aaron is going to have to juggle between both C long and he's going to have to watch, or this cam can watch both the entrances, right? So Wipe was going to feed the information back to Aaron as to where the exec is coming. But I think right now they should expect it to not be the C site. FaZe, they throw Baby Bay straight into the B site for basically no reason, right? He ends up just going down, no info collected, barely anything to go off of that. And FaZe, they don't explode. So they were basically from the get-go in a 4 versus 5 as XSET. They didn't use much utility to battle against that. They still have a paranoia for this retake as they are conceding essentially all of this A sites. All Weeded's going to try and do is hold these players in the back here. He'll rotate towards Heaven, and XSET with the numbers advantage, with the utility that they've got, and Weeded committing a really, really risky TP. I was about to say, let's go back to Heaven, and a paranoia still available is the biggest thing. You've got Aaron on a flank, and FaZe are all congested into the middle of this A site now.
Okay, a little bit slow from Aaron, actually taking his time making his way in, but this is a massive battle as Corey somehow still alive. The Empress of Darkness looming in the shadows, still not able to get another one. The chaotic battle. I was mentioning how Aaron was just taking his pure time in mid, almost as an insurance policy for XSET to FaZe, or to save, sorry, against FaZe. But FaZe, they all fall apart off the battles after. I mean, again, Zachary in such a pivotal position. He gets cut off wide open. Marv, same thing. He could have went back into long. He had a smoke ready for that detriment. But even then, the wide swing from Heaven, wide swings coming out from shorts, everything was just too quick. In FaZe, they end up losing out their organization. Yeah,
I'd like to think that TP from Weeded was just to draw attention away, right? Reset the round, let them know that there could be a player on your backside, and they end up getting confused, I guess, FaZe. You weren't prepared for what was to come, and now XSET. This is a little confusing because they're going straight down mid. ECJ, it will be spotted out here. There is nothing to punish, and it's still Weed in this corner. Awin's good for one on the trade, and Weeded can't be punished until Corey takes the swing, and he does indeed. XSET down to 3, but Thwifo's trading things back here. This round is anything but cohesive. FaZe, they make the TP back to the A site to try and switch the tempo up, and it's XSET now who will be on a retake here, as Marv is going to try and keep players from getting into this site now, as it will be FaZe who could get an 11th here, but XSET with a showstopper on Aaron is going to be the biggest thing here. FaZe have always had good post plans, and this is where they really need to shine.
Oh, shock darts coming in too. Zachary's not going to get hit, but instead it's actually the cam that stayed in for the retake. Zachary.
Oh, he's setting up a post plan.
But he's ended up going away. You know, this is beautiful. Sends up the post plant. Not only that, but the dart in. Gonna be able to get a little bit of information big from Aaron just to make that space, but still 2 over towards shorts. Good eye, but Thwifo still gets one back. 1v3 for Marv. Gotta come up huge, but can't get any of them. BCJ shuts it down early. FaZe's post plans, they were immaculate, but in the last 2 rounds, it's their downfall. XSET, they take a 1-0 lead over FaZe Clan.
Yeah, really good stuff there from XSET to bring it back from an 8-1 deficit. And we were talking about going into the second half. It's like FaZe looked really good in the first half, right? That was the FaZe we knew. On the defense as well, getting super aggressive, contesting the major extremities, forcing XSET to fall into their trap. But then when they got into the attack, it wasn't the FaZe we knew at all, right? They weren't taking those early fights. They weren't looking to get super aggressive until those later rounds when it really did matter. And by that time, Gus, it was a little bit too late for FaZe.
Yeah, XSET, they really did have a lot of control of the situation throughout the second half. It's a little bit of a forehead thing for me to say, considering the fact that literally FaZe could not get any rounds going for them.
Yeah.
Their economy was broken. They would force buy every time. The big difference between XSET and FaZe's setups between halves was really the economic management in a sense, because we did end up seeing force buys 2 rounds in a row after they ended up losing out the pistol round. That still leaves them on the kind of the back burner where they weren't able to really fight up the initial interactions that they were going for in terms of trying to make space. And again, that ended up leading into a couple of those fun rounds that we saw a little bit later on, but it's just not trusty Sully. So XSET now, this